The Arab were in the desert. And then this area they mentioned, they used to call it Sham. Sham. Now these people were nomads. They used to follow water. Wherever there was water, they will come and then settle there. When the water flows, they will move. And mostly they had their animal they drive, or they call it their cattle. Some of them had a lot of camels and whatever. So they were moving from place to place, from place to place. But when they finally reached here and the land was fertile, there was water. One, there is water. Two, the land is fertile. The idea came that no, this river is not drying now. So it brought about the idea of settlement, permanent settling. And as more and more people came to join, before they realized it becomes a permanent place where cities are now springing up. And that is why they call it the cradle of civilization. Meaning when we move away from hunting and then picking of seeds to now begin to settle. And you realize that the first form of settlement in terms of work was agric. And if you are involved in farming, it means you are not thinking about today or next week. Is it true or not? If you are involved in farming, are you thinking about next week or today?
No.
No.
Oh, it's like a drop off. Oh, are you hearing me?
No, no.
We can hear you.
What I'm trying to say is that we are told the people they call Mesopotamia the cradle of civilization because it was a land between two rivers that was located between the Euphrates and the Tigris, and that it is around modern day Iraq, where what happened? Human transition. We move from one place to another stage in life. So we transition from hunting and gathering of fruits to now settling at this place called Mesopotamia. Now I'm explaining why it is so. Because when you go further, we are told they got involved in agric. And by involving in agric, it means you are not thinking of today or tomorrow or next week. Because agric will take time. The shortest we can think of is maybe 1 month. Things like contumely and the like. And then corn, 3 months or so. To plant other things, they are even more, take a longer period to do that. For that matter, when they got involved in agric, it means they were not moving away now. They are now coming to stay. If for nothing, 1 month to 3 months or more. But eventually, they became cities. It means we have moved away from the hunting, we have moved away from the gathering to now settling. So that is what I'm trying to explain, the transition from how we lived before and how those people now lived. And they were mainly around four people. They mentioned them as the Assyrians, Akkadians, the Babylonians, and the other one. Let's move on. We'll meet it. Move on, brother.
Okay. So they attributed mental illness to spirits and gods.
Okay.
They had no. Should I continue?
Yes. Okay, I've seen it.
Okay, so let me.
Yeah, they attributed mental illness to spirits and gods. they had no clear role
Yes.
assigned to the brain. They never attributed
Yeah.
mental challenge to the brain. They rather attributed it out. This is spirit, or this is maybe somebody might have provoked the ghost. But they never thought of the brain as being the cause of the mental illness. Brother, move on.
Their main idea about the brain was that the brain was anatomically noticed but functionally ignored.
Yes. What do you understand by this? Anatomically noticed, but functionally ignored.
Okay, so
Yes.
it means that they know where the brain is located, but
And they know
okay, they know
structurally,
that this brain,
this is
yes,
the brain.
yes,
Where is it found
yeah,
in the body? It is here. But
yes.
in terms of function, they assign it to the spirits and the gods.
The
I
physiology
hope it's
was
clear.
not there.
Pardon
Yeah.
me.
The physiology was not there.
The physiology was not yet there. It was not yet. All because that was the beginning. I hope it's clear.
So
Hello.
we
Hello.
can hear you.
You see, we are not seeing
Can
each
hear
other
you.
for that matter. I need feedback before I can continue.
Yeah.
Yo, brother, move on.
Okay. Okay. So 2, classical Greek period,
The classical Greek period
500 to
and their scientists. Mhm.
okay. So
Move on,
from
brother.
500 to 300 BC. So
Yes.
classical Greek period, 500 to 300 BC, on the issue of the brain and debate. Acmion of Croton
Uh-huh.
proposed the brain as the seat of intelligence,
Mm.
while Hippocrates,
The father of
460,
Western medicine.
yes, to 770 BC, argued
Uh-huh.
that the brain controls sensations and intelligence.
Wow.
They also linked epilepsy to brain dysfunction and not gauze.
Can you imagine that? So he said, no, it's not God. It's rather epilepsy is coming from the brain. That when the brain is not working well, that is where the person becomes epileptic and not the gauze. So he is not agreeing to what they were saying. It is spirit or God. Now, what did Plato also said?
So Plato said from 427 to 347 BC,
Uh-huh.
also supported reasoning to be in the brain,
Mhm.
emotions in the heart, and
Hey,
desires in the liver.
can you imagine that? You see,
Yes.
another philosopher, he believed, yes, reasoning is in the brain, emotion is in the heart, and then
And
our
desires.
desires is in the liver. Brothers
Wow.
and sisters, is our desires in the liver? Is our desire in the liver?
No, please, no, please.
No, sir.
But you see, that was the beginning. And so people believe that because these were based on what? Reasoning and philosophy. It was not
Philosophy.
it was not physical or anatomically accepted, but philosophically and then reasoning. Let's hear the other man, Aristotle.
Aristotle from 384 to 322 BC also had it that there was center of thought.
The heart.
They also believed
The heart was.
the heart didn't come though.
Oh, he had it that the heart was the center of thought.
Okay, so it's not in. But they
Okay.
also believe that the brain cooled the blood.
They also believe that the brain cooled the heart. You know, we remember the brain cooling the heart in the earlier definitions. Now, what was their main idea for this?
Their main idea was that Philosophical reasoning introduced the brain as a candidate for the mind.
Wow. The brain was introduced as a candidate for the mind. Let's move on to the next one, the next period in life.
Okay, so the Hellenistic and Roman era.
The Roman
300
era
BC.
and the Hellenistic era. Now anatomy was gradually coming. Let's hear it.
So from BC 300 to 500 BC,
No.
this was the era anatomy met functioning.
No, it was
Refers-
300 BC to 500 CE. It means during the era of Christ. Christ era. The BC means before Christ era. Now Christ era. Let's move on.
Okay. This was the era anatomy met function.
Okay.
Refers to the when scholars moved beyond philosophy alone and began to link the structure of the brain to its functions.
Wow.
Such as sensation, movement, and cognition.
Cognition, to be able to remember something to the core. Yes.
Before this period, the brain was discussed mainly in abstract or philosophical terms. During this time, anatomical observation and experimentation began to inform ideas about how the brain actually works.
Yes. Now that we began to assign the reasoning and then now taking anatomy into consideration, it was no more about just beliefs alone or philosophy alone. Now a bit of evidence was gradually showing up. Let's hear Galen, because Galen did a lot to this.
Okay, so the key scholar of this era was Galen of the Pergamum, T. 129 to 216 CE.
Okay.
His contributions were that he performed animal dissections using monkey and pigs.
Wow.
He demonstrated that nerves originate from the brain and the spinal. He also alluded that damage
it's supposed to be the spinal cord. Maybe we left out the cord. It's supposed to be from the brain and the spinal cord.
Okay.
No problem. Let's move on.
He also alluded that damage to specific nerves causes loss of movement or sensation.
Yeah.
He discussed
sensory.
He distinguished sensory nerves from motor nerves.
Yes.
He proposed the ventricular theory of the brain. That the brain had mental faculties in it, such as faculty of imagination, reasoning, memory, and sight that reside in the brain.
Yes. Now, coming to this, there were a lot of scholars and philosophers who had different opinion about the brain. Some were assigning it to whatever, others too were agreeing with each other. But when we come to that of Galen, you could see that Galen findings a lot more make sense today. A lot of his findings make a lot of sense today than those who were assigning whatever to the liver. Desire. Assigning desire to the liver. Today you could see that it's just over the board. But Galen performed animal dissections. Today people are still performing it. using them as guinea pigs. So people use rats and so on to perform. But he was using monkeys or sometimes pigs. What was he looking for? He was looking out for something. And among his findings, he got to know that our nerves originated from the brain and the spinal cord. The spinal cord is connected to the brain. That we call it the information highway. It is through this line that information goes to and fro. And for that matter, he saw that nerves originated from that side. He also agreed that damage to specific nerves causes loss of movement or sensation to those areas, which is also true. Like a while ago, we said we have two patients with stroke. One of them can talk, another one cannot talk. What do you think is the cause? It's all because of the different faculties that the stroke took place or where it occurred. The other name of stroke is blood accident. That's the other name for stroke. They deem it to be an accident of the blood system. So it is also called blood accident. So it depends on where the accident took place. The buildup could be somewhere, but the accident could mostly occurs in the brain, especially plaques. Plaques can block somewhere and be rolling in the system into circulation and come and block somewhere in the brain. So yes, you can see that that point 2 is also holding water today. He also distinguished that sensory nerves from motor nerves. We have sensory nerves and we have motor nerves. The motor nerve, what do? Motor nerve, we are talking about what? Mobility. But the sensory nerves, they'll send signals to and fro. But in terms of our limbs, the motor nerves support us over there properly. I hope it's clear. And then he also talked about the various sections known as the ventricles, ventricular theory of the brain. That is what we mentioned earlier on about the 4 segments. And then he said they had imagination side, reasoning side, memory, and sight. If you check that of the sight, you realize that that one is connected to the occipital lobe, because that is where we used to see. That's why you use, and that is why it's not good to knock somebody at the occiput. It's not a good thing. You can blind the person. You can let the person go blind, because that is a section of the brain that is responsible for sight, among others. For that matter, when we know this, then we are able to be careful how and what to do whenever the need arises. So you realize that Galen did a lot. His findings were more accurate and they are still applicable today. I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Please move on to the next one. Medieval period.
Okay, medieval period. Okay, 500 to 15,500 CE.
Okay.
They understood the brain through religious worldview. Their historical context was that during this era, scientific inquiry was shaped by religion, philosophy, and traditions. Human dissection was limited in Europe. In the medieval era, classical Greek and Roman texts were preserved and expanded, especially in the Islamic world.
Okay. So now what they are trying to tell us is that during the medieval period, scientific inquiry was shaped by religion. You know, those areas that they are talking of today is predominantly Islam. And you know the way our belief is. And then philosophy, and then traditions. These three things, they don't joke with it. And so by then, human dissection in Europe, according to the literature, was very limited. They didn't do it much. They were mostly using what? Animals. Now, these people were also very proactive. For that matter, they were able to preserve the findings of the Greek and the finding of the Romans so that they could now expand on it, especially in the Islamic world. Yes. Why is it especially the Islamic world? Present day Egypt is a predominantly an Islamic nation. Iraq, Syria, Turkey, and Iran. So that is why they are saying especially in the Islamic world, because those were the people of this era, the medieval era. Now let's move on to the next era, the Renaissance period.
The Renaissance period, 1500 to 1700 AD. At this era, anatomy now became scientific.
Wow.
With key scholars such as Andres Vesalius, who created anatomical errors. Corrected anatomical errors. Okay. He emphasized on direct observation.
Wow. René Descartes. Another philosopher.
He proposed mind-body dualism.
Yes.
As well as the pineal gland.
The pineal gland in the brain.
As an interaction point in the brain.
Wow. So this is the Renaissance period. I don't know whether you are taking note of the dates. Have you realized that we are gradually coming to the modern era? Gradually. When you look at the first date, it was before 500 BCE. Then it went until it became something CE. 300 BCE to 500 CE. Then gradually it came to 500 to 1500 CE. Now we are 1500 to 1700 AD. So it was before Christ, during Christ, and then after Christ. We are moving towards modern day. So let's move on. The Renaissance period.
We have read that. At this era,
we are done with that.
Yes.
Now, their main idea
at this era is that the structure of the brain has now become accurately mapped
out. You could see that now, eventually, they had moved away from the belief, from the philosophy. And then, finally, was now putting more emphasis on anatomy. Talking about the dissections, talking about now knowing where the nerves originates, and so on and so forth. So by this era, it was accurately, now they had done it the right way, the way it's supposed to be. That's what they mean by accurately mapped. All because of what? Because of the dissections. Because knowing where the nerves are originating from, and so on and so forth. Let's move on to the next era.
Okay, 6. Enlightenment and early modern era.
Okay, what period is
17th
that?
and 18th, from 1700 to 18th.
So let me ask this
1800.
question. Let me ask this question. 1700 to 1800. What century was that?
It was AD.
Hello. What century was that?
AD.
Was the 19th century.
It was AD.
After
That
the
was
death.
the
19th
that was
century.
that was
19th
the
century.
BC.
It was AD.
18th.
Okay, it was
It was the 18th
century.
century.
18th century. Yeah.
The 18th century started from 1700 to 1799.
Yeah.
Then the 19th century started 1800 to 1899. The 20th century started 1900 to 1999. The 21st century started from 2000 and is going to run up to 2099. Please, I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please.
So that was the 18th century. Now what happened? Let's hear.
Okay. Localization of functions.
Okay.
Key scholars were Thomas Waits, the father of neurology.
The father of neurology. These were the pace setters of neurology. Like today, we call Prof the father of naturopathy in Ghana. The father of modern naturopathy in Ghana is Professor Nyakote Obu. Yeah. So that is what he told us. Father of neurology. Yes.
Okay. Franz Gall.
Okay.
Phrenology.
Phrenology.
Though incorrect but influential.
Move on.
Okay, so
we'll come back.
Luigi Galvani. Electrical nature of nerve signals.
Wow.
By now, the core idea was now that different brain regions have different functions.
Yes, carry on.
Okay, the 19th century.
I'll come and explain. You. That's why I say carry on.
Okay. The 19th century.
Yes.
1800 to 1899 AD.
Okay.
Scientific neuroscience now emerges. Key breakthrough, Paul Broca. Speech production, Broca's era. The Carl Wernicke, language and comprehension. Santiago Roman Y. Cajal, neuron doctrine. Core idea, the brain is a network of individual neurons. The 20th century, the 19th to 1999 AD, the brain as an electrical and chemical network.
Okay.
The key scholars, Charles Sherrington on synapse.
On synapse. On synapse.
Synapse. Okay, synapse.
Yeah, we are going to study it. It's part of the course.
Okay.
Hans Berger on EEG.
EEG. Donald Hebb on neuroplasticity. Cells that fire together.
Plasticity. Cells that fire together.
Yes.
They wire
Cells
together.
They wire, but here is fire.
Yeah, they wire together.
Okay.
Now, what was the idea?
The core idea, thoughts, emotions, and behaviors arise from neural circuits.
Yes. You know, like the man said, our brain has some form of electricity that transmits. For that matter, they now understood that thought, the way we think, our emotion, and the way we behave are all coming from these circuits, these electrical circuits in the brain. That is what they are meaning. These are all the history, so that we are coming to pick them one topic after the other. Now we have arrived at present day, 21st century. Yes, see.
Okay, so David Deku, Mr. David Deku, please, you should mute your mic for us. Mr. David Deku.
We are getting a
So
feedback, please.
Mr. David Deku.
Or he put it and left.
Something like that. Okay, let me continue.
Continue. It's like it's not close to the phone.
Yes, the 21st century, 2000 to 2099 AD.
Yes.
The contemporary neuroscience.
Contemporary neuroscience.
Yes. The brain as a dynamic plastic system. Key development. fMRI. PET scans.
PET scan. This is now what currently this is what neuroscience is developing. fMRI and then PET scans. Neuroplasticity across lifespan.
Brain.
This man is disturbing us. Oh, it's like
Mr. David.
To the phone.
Mr. David, hello. Mr. David, what is this? Please, put your mic on. We are begging. Oh,
it's like he left the phone and then we are somewhere.
The host, please, can you help us? Okay. The host, please, can you help us to mute them?
Please,
beg you.
Doc, mute him for us. Brain-gut axis.
Yes.
Carry on.
The neuroscience of emotions, decision making, and spirituality.
Wow. Now, what is the core idea?
The brain is adaptive, integrative, and influenced by lifestyle, nutrition, emotions, and environment.
So what they are trying to tell us is that contemporary neuroscience, these are the areas that we are now. And that the idea now today is that the brain is adaptive. The brain can be adapted. The brain can be adaptive, and then you can also integrate. And then also, it can also be influenced by lifestyle. Or the food we eat, our nutrition. How we control our emotions. And sometimes the environment in which we find ourselves. So briefly, this is the history of how the brain evolved to contemporary neuroscience, which is now practiced in the 21st century. Why is important? Why is it important? Hello?
So we are on it. Mr. Echampon, mute your microphone.
Why is this important? The question is it important in any way?
Hello, Doc.
Senior.
Yeah, this is Kingsley Amavoji.
Okay.
It is very, very important because looking at where we have gotten to, even
Okay.
with naturopathy,
Okay.
if you don't know the sciences, it becomes difficult even treating the person.
Brother, you've hit the nail on the head. Carry
So
on.
it is very, very important.
I like that.
Thank you.
I didn't cut you short. I want you to flow.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that per the practice, some of us have come to know that if the person even comes to you and you have this neuroscience, you have the sciences background, it helps you to know how to even educate the person.
Yes.
Maybe the person is suffering from, yesterday, for instance, I met a patient who is suffering from Parkinson.
Oh.
And he was given a conventional medicine. So I asked that they bring the medicine. So they brought the cover or the pack of the medicine, and I did a research about it. And I even got to know that the medicine needs not to be taken close to an hour or 2 hours as the person takes the protein diet. So I asked the lady, were you informed that your dad needs not take this medicine close to the time of taking the protein diet? He said no. Are you aware that this medicine that your dad is taking will let him suffer from constipation? He said no. I asked the man, how often do you visit the bowel? I mean, how do you, what is your bowel discharge? And he told me he visits the what do you call the toilet once every 2 days or 3 days.
Why?
And I told him it's because of this. So if you know the sciences and you can do the research work, it is helping this work that we are doing. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
I'm so happy for your flowing. It's so nice and straightforward. Any other person, please?
So I think it also boosts confidence for the practitioner.
Yes.
Because let me say, this peptic ulcer, it can give a pressure to the brain to a time that if you sit in a car, it tells you you are going to die, you are going to have an accident. And you should know that because of that, you should feed the mind with vitamin D quickly. So it boosts confidence. If the person, me for instance, I was talking with some Muslim person at Kumasi, and how he was talking, I get to know that this person is having peptic ulcer and also lacking vitamin D in the system. So automatically, I asked him, do you feel like you are going to die? He said, yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to die, so I should sell all my things and spend it before I'll die. So it is worrisome though. So it boosts confidence to the personnel or the practitioner.
It is very true. True. Any other contribution? Any other contribution?
Yes, may I?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. The history has shown a pattern, and we have come to the point now, I observe, where even some of the ancient theories are now being incorporated. For example, when we look at emotions,
yes,
we are being told that when there are certain emotions, the certain organs get affected.
Yes.
Right? So, even though those were ancient teachings, they're now being incorporated, but in a more scientific way in neuroscience. So
that is really a word, more scientific way.
Yes.
That
so
can be proven.
Yes.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
You see, we are learning to apply. All the three answers you gave, they are all right and accurate. In the sense that, like we said, it boosts your confidence because you now know what you are doing is right. You are not doing an maybe. No, not that one. You know what you are doing. And it also will guide you, like brother said, after he took the drug and then read through it. it will guide you what to give and what not to give, when to prescribe for the person to take and when not to take, how close you should take it, maybe to the night or whatever. All these things are going to guide us through these studies. Any other person who has some
Yes,
contribution?
to me, based on the little presentation you've done so far, I've also discovered that as a naturopathist, you have to constantly reassure your client, because most of them have been confused by some of these medical doctors,
Yes.
their conditions, where they have gotten to, there's no hope and blah, blah, blah. But then with your presentation, I think there should be a need for constant reassurance of
Yeah.
our clients. We should always tell them there is hope, no matter how critical and damnated their conditions will be. We should try to constantly reassure them, because
Yes.
whatever we feed their mind has influence on the outcome of their condition.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's true. Because like we said somewhere in the notes, recovery comes first from the brain. And whatever, because what you put in the brain, if you don't fight against it, if you don't change it, it will continue to harm the person. So we don't need to put negative or fear or discourage somebody so that the person will keep moving and then thinking, Dr. So and so said this. Is it really true? Blah, blah, blah. It's just like sometimes, I remember one time we were at the lab, and then after we some people came for lab test. In the course of giving the result, we made a mistake by swapping somebody's result for another person. And if that person is not quickly corrected, and then he goes away with that result which is not favorable, if you are not careful, that alone can even kill the person. Can you imagine a situation where somebody goes for lab test and then they give a different person who is having A's result to that person? Unless you do like you are doing before, you can reconvince the person that it is not your results. And that is what the reason why you don't just go do one lab test and then you stay there. It is always advisable you go 1, 2, or 3 places before you conclude. So yes, you've gone to Dr. A. He said this, try another place so that you do the comparison. If not, if you stay at one place and you are not lucky to be given the right thing, then you are in trouble. Because that information alone is something that is going to even worsen the person's case. So yes, I like the contribution of sister. The last person.
I have a question here, sir. Yes, I have a question here. As a pastor, severally we see people hallucinate.
Yes.
And with this class and what we are learning now, my question is, where do we draw the line between when somebody hallucinating spiritually, where pastor will say this one is spiritual hallucination, and maybe somebody who are taking drugs, and you see person talking about spiritual things. Where do we really place the demarcation with what you are studying?
Pastor has asked a question. Where do we draw the line? Because all of them are coming from the brain. How shall we know that this one is spiritual and this one is biological? Any support before we can also bring our little understanding?
Okay. Hello, sir.
We are hearing.
Please, about the spiritual matters, Jesus differentiates from 1 Corinthians chapter 12.
I'm not hearing you well.
1 Corinthians chapter 12. 1 Corinthians
Please
chapter
speak
12.
louder for us.
I'm not hearing seriously.
Evans, please speak louder for us.
Okay. Please, can you get me now?
Now I can hear.
Okay. About the spiritual matter, Jesus differentiates it here, 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And we have a discerner, the one who sees into the spiritual realm. So that person is there to differentiate the physical and the spiritual. So the spiritual side, the person must to be an discerner to see and identify. Thank you.
The pastor's question is, how will you know that this patient is now going through spiritual attack or the physical attack? Is that what you said?
Exactly.
Or how will I, the caregiver, know? Or is that not what you said?
Exactly. Let me give you
yes
an example. Somebody taking drugs.
Let him come back. Come again.
Somebody.
We are hearing.
Somebody hallucinating, and you see the person, the way the person is talking. What the young man is saying, I know all about it. Jesus Christ saying this and that. But what you see at times, those things that supposed to be biological or physical, most of the pastors who say is spiritual, and before you know it, more damage is being caused to the patient. So now I am a pastor and practicing this, studying neuroscience. Now, where do I bring the demarcation that this one is purely spiritual, this one is not, so that I know what to apply? I know if it's prayer, I go into prayers.
Please, have you heard of?
Hello, Doc. Can I come in?
Yeah, you can come in.
You see, as naturopaths, our treatment have to do with the cause of the problem.
Yeah.
And we treat both the spiritual aspects as well as the physical and the mental aspect.
Yes.
So I think you, the pastor, looking at what the person is telling you and the way the person is behaving, one, you can begin with prayer. Then you begin to strengthen the person. In our naturopathic practice, the traits or the belief of the individual also count. So you need to know where the person is coming from, the spiritual background of the person, what he or she believes in. And you pick it from there, from the known to the unknown. And as you guide the person and lead the person, from you don't know the exact place, so you have to tackle the whole thing. And as the naturopath, that's how we go about our treatment or practice. It is the holistic. So you are not separating anything. So you need not even draw any boundary. You are taking the person as a whole. So you treat the whole thing. You talk about the spiritual side a little. You look at the physical aspect and see what could be done. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy for this. But are we aware of integrative medicine?
Exactly.
Yes, please.
Yes.
When you have a challenge like this, first of all, like Brother rightly said, we have to go back to the principles of naturopathy. We'll go back to the principle of naturopathy. You treat the whole person. 1. 2, which one do you think you will tackle first? It depends on how the person is behaving. If you suspect it's a spiritual, tackle the spiritual first. If it is a biological, tackle the biological first, because it is integrative. It is not an isolated, only this. Even sometimes we even integrate the orthodox medicine and the naturopathic medicine. The only way you will not mix them is you give gap. If I take the orthodox drugs, maybe for 1 hour, you can take the other one, just to avoid drug interaction. Are we getting the point? Sometimes you want to give a patient some product, then the person will say, I don't want to combine the two so that I know which one healed me. And I ask you, what is your problem? Are you not looking for solution? Is a solution you are looking for? So get the solution first. First, run to safety before you start asking what is chasing us. But you are still under attack. Instead of you to run to safety, you are asking, what is that? What is that? What is happening? If you are not careful, that thing will chew you out. First of all, run to safety. Get yourself healed first before you try to inquire. Which of them, as long as the two of them are accommodative, they are, how do they call it? There's a way they use. Compatible. They are compatible. What's your problem? Tackle the one you think is the issue first and add the second one because they go hand in hand. So don't try to isolate. Oh, this one is spiritual, so only spiritual. No. Apart from the spiritual, the person will eat. So biological tools should come in so that we get what we are looking for. But if you're trying to separate it, this one should go there. Even when you are taken to the prayer camp, you will still need to take some of the products. Don't say that because it's a spiritual issue, so that is it. Give them the biological, the person still will eat. So give him or her whatever is there so that it will support you to get your needed results. The reason why you don't combine drugs and sometimes our product is that we are fearing interaction. We don't want to react. And that is why we are told to separate them at least by giving some allowance to avoid negative reaction. If not, the era in which we are now is no more about this medicine or that medicine. It is called integrative medicine. If it is this that will do the work, do it. If it is that one that will do the work, do it. If it is a combination of the two, you will do it and get the result. After all, at the end of the day, it is the patient we all want to save. I hope it's clear.
Yes, doctor.
That is why the principles are there. We have holism and vitalism. Then we have the principles. Don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. Don't treat symptoms, treat the root cause. Don't do this, do this. They are all there to guide us. So that when we follow the principles, at the end of the day, you will always come out victorious. Unless what is destined by God. If not, by the principles and the whatever, we are going to come out victorious. So I will entreat man of God to sometimes use your discretion. This one is spiritual, but still the person will eat. So if you have some products, let the person get some food, then you give that medicine. If it will work, fine. After that, now the person has gotten energy. If it is the spiritual, then you move into the spiritual. By doing that, we are all going to come out and come out safely. And the last contribution that we call it
Good afternoon, doctor.
We are still in the morning.
Good morning, sorry.
19 minutes to 12.
Yeah, I see, sorry. So this is my contribution.
Okay.
This is what I wanted to contribute. Since you are a pastor and you don't have the vision, you don't have the eye to see to foresee spiritual things. First of all you need to do is, why don't you conduct tests to see the activity of the brain, how the brain is, going about. So if you go to the hospital, if you conduct tests and then you see it's not anything physical, it's not relating to anything physical, then if you have spiritual things to do, you can do it. But first of all, you shouldn't say or conclude it's spiritual. Yes, still you don't have the eye to see. With this condition, it is fragile, it is delicate. So any medication that you give to the person can accelerate his or her condition. So the best is to take the person to hospital You conduct tests and then see the activity of the brain to see if everything is right, everything is correct. If
That
it is
is it.
right, then if you have anything spiritual for the person, you do it. If we
Yes.
attribute such things to spiritual, everything spiritual, you end up worsening the case. Thank you.
Yes. That is why when you go to the hospital, the doctor will not just tell you that, oh, it is this condition, that condition. You know what you do? You do the first examination and then you go to lab. Go to lab. Why? Go for them to do investigation.
Sir, can I add a little bit on it?
Yes, you can do that.
And the last person say if the person doesn't guide the spiritual eye, then you have a friend Corey maybe more better than you. After you do all the check of the lab, then so doesn't have any result. Refer the person to your friend Corey.
Yes.
Maybe
that is what we said a while ago, that the importance of your colleague in healing, the importance of the patient himself in healing, and the importance of the patient family or relatives in healing. The importance here is to do consultation so that they will also share with you their experience. That will help you overcome your challenge. So yes, it's true, Senior. Any other one?
Okay, so I have a contribution. So
okay,
now is lack of research that makes people to think this one is spiritual and this one is physical. Everybody comes out with his or her background or his belief or her beliefs. One, there are some sicknesses that if it happens, because we don't have more knowledge. Let me give this example, like this H. pylori treatment, the bacterials. When they get to your system, what they can do, you may think it is spiritual. So a lot of people, yes, I had this education on TikTok, and one medical doctor called me from Kolebu.
Okay.
And he told me that, bro, you know where I am now? I said, no. He said, I am at Volta right now. I've been buying cows. Let me say, a medical doctor at Kolebu is telling me he is buying cow till now. So even the time that he has called me, he is on the way going to buy another cow to come and do a sacrifice. But what he had heard from me, per my explanation about this H. pylori thing, he is not going to buy the cow again. A medical doctor he doesn't know the symptoms of H. pylori. So some sickness are very severe to a time you can tell yourself it is spiritual. One, you should treat the physicalities first. One, you should me if I can this sickness is I will treat the physicalities first.
Always do the investigation and find out first. You should go before you conclude.
Yes, you go to the clinics, best clinic. Most of the time, I refer cases to Sonotech for.
That is it. Even yesterday, I referred somebody. A lady came to me with fibroid, and I asked her, "When was the last time you went for checkup? Can I see your medical, your scan report?" Then she showed it to me, 2023. And I said, "Madam, we cannot rely on this. I cannot rely on this to say anything. You know what? I'm pleading with you, go back and get a current one. 2 years down the line, you are still working with it. Please go to Sonotech." He said, "Which side?" I go to Committee 9. Sonotech is just opposite the cemetery from a general hospital side. This morning she called me that she's done it. Always investigate, find out what the problem is. Don't assume. Yes.
Okay, so for my last point, if after you investigate and you see that the person, the best remedy you have that you have been using to treat more people, you have more testimonies on it, give it to the person. Let the person also try it. try another one. Consult people. I mean, colleagues to colleague relationship.
Yeah.
Have consultation.
That point there is very, very important. Don't assume you know everything. Always consult.
Yeah, so when you do all these things, then you can conclude, yes, this thing, unless we move to the next level, which is the spirituality level.
Yeah.
So it has a long chain before you can pronounce or mention this sickness as a spiritual thing. So
it is not an instant something.
Doc, I want to just say this. I think it's just unfortunate that today we have a lot of charlatans in the system.
Yeah.
And they are those who are really causing the problem. Me as a pastor, but and enjoying this program, I really loved it because it's giving a lot of insights and awakening
Yes.
certain things. But here we have so-called pastors who will tell you that they are vision, they have this, yet they have nothing. They're just using psychology, and then they are just doing whatever, and then, creating whatever fear and panic in the people, and the people also tend to believe that. I wish we could get a lot of people, going through this program to really understand what's happening. When a case like this is presented, why do you rush and then sit in the church, and then let's say we are having service, and then a member somehow falls down, and then maybe the first thing would be, okay, let's pray for the person, and then move the person from that scene to another place to ensure that we do no harm as the naturopathy principle.
Yeah, premium non-necessary.
That is it. So that when all these things are done, like police have said, and still the problem is not going, or investigations, whatever, then you know that this one, in fact, is spiritual. But there are things you send to the hospital, and the doctors, with whatever experience they have, can tell you that, they've come to an end. They can't do anything. But sometimes, even with that, they bring it back to us, and then we're able to do it. Even if it comes to you, and then still, you can't manage it. That is why we believe that God is there, and the party is it.
Yes,
so we should, look at all these things, and I believe that it will go somewhere. God should help us so that these charlatans who are in the system, and then sometimes they say most just moja this and this, they just gone to buy. Prepare sobolo, and we have come to realize that sobolo has a lot of medicinal properties and healing people. But you just, lie to the people that it is just moja. Just moja from where? And you are selling it so exorbitant, and the people who by faith are also patronizing. And such people, aside this, they will not even run, they come to the medical side or to our side to even find out. And if they take it today, tomorrow if it doesn't work, because they have already believed in what the lies that they have been told, they tend to follow. And the end normally, so the what should be
Man of God, what you said is really a concern, but it is a matter of education. Maybe if you have a forum